Guys, welcome to yet another video. In this video, we're gonna talk about the area and perimeter of compound shapes. So the first and foremost, we wanna just learn a few terms. So number one, what are compound shapes? Compound shapes is just two 2D shapes that are stacked on top of each other or side by side. So if you see later on what I mean, that they're just side by side or stacked upon each other. Then also we need to just have a small recap of what is area and what is perimeter. So perimeter is the distance around a shape, all right? And area is the space inside the shape. And this is important because as you go further in your grades, you learn about mensuration, that is now area, perimeter, and volume of various shapes. But for today, we're just gonna stick with these compound shapes. So the first thing is we're gonna start with the perimeter. So perimeter is quite simple. It is just simply adding all the sides. So we have 6, we have 9, we have 3, we have 4, but we don't know what this side is, we don't know what this side is. So how we do that is we use a certain method like this. So we know that this side is 9, and if we were to draw an imaginary piece here to join this, so for instance, if this was a normal rectangle, that means that this side will also be 9. So 9 minus 4, that means that is 5, all right? So the same is true on the opposite side. If this side is 6 and this side is 3, it means that that missing piece is 3, okay? All right, let me just erase there. So now our perimeter, in fact, let me move this a little bit so that we can have enough space. So our perimeter will be 6 plus 5, 11, 11 plus 9, 20, 27, 30. So our perimeter is 30 centimeters. All right, great. Then let's let's finish with this shape first. So now when we go to area, we know that the formula of a rectangle is length times width. And one thing that I always encourage you, it's always important to know your formulas, mainly because it will always help you to understand how to do your area or perimeter. So you always have to learn all your formulas, and some of the key ones are for a square, side times side; for a rectangle, length times width; and for a triangle, base times height divided by 2. So you need to know them, and as you go further in your academic career, you're gonna learn other shapes like the area and the perimeter of a trapezium, parallelogram, rhombus, and all that stuff. So all those formulas, you need to know them, because in the exam they don't give you, they assume that you now know. So if you can learn them now when they're still few, by the time you add more, it'll be easier. All right, so cool. So now we're gonna look at our area. But the area now, because this is a compound shape, to make it easier, we're gonna cut it into a manageable shape. So we're gonna assume if we're to cut this shape here, we're gonna have 2 rectangles. That means, for instance, rectangle A and rectangle B there. All right, so if we're looking at it, rectangle A has got a length of 6 and has got a width of 5. So now 6 times 5 is 30. Okay, we put that aside. Then we're gonna add it, because this is a compound shape, it's stacked together or it's side by side. We're also gonna find the area of rectangle B, which is having a length of 4 and a width of 3. So 4 times 3, that's 12. All right, cool. Then our total area is just gonna be 42 square centimeters. Square centimeters is the centimeter with the exponent of 2 on top. That is the correct SI unit for area. So perimeter is always normal, but area has a square centimeter. When later on we deal with volume, volume is cubic. It's almost like 3D, cubic, 3 times. All right, cool. Now we're gonna move on to this one. So this one the unique thing about this compound shape is that it's got centimeters and also it's got millimeters. However, it's a bit difficult when you deal with things with various SI units. So the most easiest way is to convert them into the same. So we all know that 10 millimeters, okay, 10 mm is exactly the same as 1 centimeter. All right, so that means that 32 millimeters will be 3.2 centimeters. All right, and 20 millimeters will be 2 centimeters. All right, cool. Or we can even convert the centimeters to millimeters. So that means that 10 centimeters will be 100 millimeters. Okay, let me just write that in a different color. 100 millimeters. And 5 centimeters will be 50. Okay, so you can either have this answer as a centimeter or you can have it as a millimeter. All right, so the first step or the first one that we'll do is the perimeter. Perimeter, remember, is the distance around a shape. However, we've got some few missing ones. All right, so remember, with the same thing that we did there, if we were to imagine that this is an imaginary, or if we were to complete and it was not broken there, we would know that this side is 10 centimeters, this side will also be 10 centimeters. So we're gonna say 10 centimeters minus 2 centimeters. That means there is gonna be, that will be 8 centimeters. All right, cool. Then if this side is 5 centimeters and this side is 3.2, that means that will be 5 minus 3.2. If we add a 0.8 there, that's 4. So it will be 1.8. 1.8 centimeters. All right, let me just erase that there. Okay, it's erasing a little bit of the stuff there. Okay, we say that was 2 centimeters. All right, cool. So the perimeter is gonna be 10 plus 5, all right, plus 2. Okay, 10 plus 5, 15, plus 2, 17. 17, if we add those two, that's 5, 22. 22 plus 8, 30. Surprisingly, it's the same. So it's 30 centimeters. Or if we want it in millimeters, it will be 300. All right, remember, 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters. All right, cool. Mm. Cool. And then the area. Remember what we said? We have to partition it into 2 shapes so that it's manageable. So if we cut it here, and remember, it doesn't matter where you cut it. You could even cut it there as well. It's not a problem. You can cut it there, you can cut it there. It doesn't really matter, as long as you're having 2 shapes. So we have, I'll just call this one rectangle C and rectangle D there. All right, so rectangle C has a length of 5 and a width of 2. So 5 times 2, that's 10. All right, plus this side we have 8 and we have 3.2. All right, so what you can do is you can say 3.2 times 8. You can even say 32 times 8. Okay, so on let's take a different color there. Let's say 32. Then you put your decimal point after you've multiplied. All right, times 8. Okay, 8 times 2, 16. 8 times 3, 24, plus 1, 25. All right, then we put our 1 decimal place, so that's 25.6. All right, 25.6. If we add that, our area is 35.6 centimeters. And if we want this in millimeters, we just multiply by 10, which is 356 millimeters. All right, so just as a recap, whenever we're calculating our perimeter of a compound shape, we're gonna find all the missing sides. Then once we have all the sides, we add a right across the shape to get our perimeter. Then if we want to get our area, we divide it into manageable shapes that we know. And one thing I can tell you is that compound shapes don't only come in like versions of rectangles. It could even be a compound shape with a triangle on top and a rectangle at the bottom. All right, usually they will be like erased in the middle there, and it will look like that. So you know already that I'm gonna have two shapes, a triangle and a rectangle. So compound shapes is just two 2D shapes that are stacked upon each other. That can also be in 3D shapes, but that we will do when we're dealing with volume. But I hope you understand, and I'll see you in the next one.